Namaste, Namaste viewers from all over the world. Welcome to this evening session of a month-long festival to celebrate the Shankaracharya Jayanti on the occasion of Festival of Oneness. I will chant one Guru Stavan and one Shanti Path, and then thereafter introduce today's speaker. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru-Parampara. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. King Jyotistava Bhanumana Anime Ratrau Pradipadikam Syadevam Ravidipa Darshana Vidau Ki Jyotirakhyahime Chakshustasya Nimilanadi Samaye Kindirdiyo Darshane Kintatrahamato Bhavan Paramakam Jyotistadasmi Prabho Na Nirodho Na Chotpattir Na Baddho Na Chasadaka Na Mukshur Na Vai Mukta Ityesha Paramarthaka. Today we are all blessed to have the dispositive discourse from Swamini Sadvidyananda Saraswati. Swamini Sadvidyananda Saraswati ji is a disciple of Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji, a great exponent of Vedanta and Hindu scriptures. She is teaching Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads in Gujarati in different towns of Gujarat like Navsari, Bardoli, Valsad, Bilimora, Vyasa, and Bhavnagar for last 25 years. Under the banner of her trust, Arshavidya Tirth Navsari, she has translated and published more than 37 books of her revered Guru, Sri Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji, into Gujarati. And from 1998 to 2003, she has also translated voluminous book of 2,000 pages on Bhagavad Gita, Gita Home Study into Gujarati for the benefit of those who can understand better it in the mother tongue. She has also attended and presented the papers in various conferences such as National Education Conferences in Pune, Gwalior, Sri Vidya International Conference, Mysore, Namami Shankar, Bhashya Parayanam Conference, Kanyakumari, Vedanta Conference, Rishikesh, etc. She is going to talk on the subject, the Advaita philosophy and area of conflict, peace and conflict, in the context of peace and conflict. Swamini ji has kindly agreed to take the questions for last 10 to 15 minutes after the lecture. Over to you, Swamini ji. Please start your lecture.
Yes. Om Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Om Shanno Mitra Shambarunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Dhrutam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmam Avatu Tadvaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahavidyan Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Ganana Tva Ganapati Gum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspadan Shunvannoti Visidhu Sadhanam. Om Mahaganapataye Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyoma Vadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Namaste to all. I'm very happy to share my knowledge with all of you. We have a very interesting topic today. Advaita Vedanta in context of peace and conflict. Let us first analyze the word conflict. What is conflict? Every word has a certain nuances. Maybe the meaning is the same, but there are nuances are there. I will just give one negative example, like killing. Somebody kills somebody, but the way of killing brings the variety of the words. Stabbed, strangulation, suffocation, shoot. Why? Because the method of killing is different. Same way when I say conflict, the word conflict in English also has a different meaning. Yuddha, Dvandva, Virodha, Visamvadita, Vipratipatti. Sanskrit is a very wide meaning language. So different level of conflicts, we are going through that only. Very appropriate topic we have today. Because the entire world is going through the conflict. Around the India, if you see, every country is under conflict. Whether it is Nepal or Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, everywhere. So conflict in the countries. Conflict between two countries called Dvandva Yuddha. Then there are conflict also are there within the country also. I remember at the moment, Swami Chinmayanandi's very beautiful that on this conflict. Chinmayanandi's very famous sentence is there. That in Satyuga, there was a conflict between two lokas, a Surloka and a Devaloka. In Treta Yuga, there was a conflict between two kingdoms, Sri Lanka and Ayodhya. In Dwapara Yuga, there was a conflict within the family, Kaurava and Pandava. But in Kali Yuga, there's a conflict within the person. Everyone has a conflict. We are going through the conflict only. And so therefore, the external conflicts are there. And there are internal conflicts are there. But when I say external, before it's going outside, it's already there inside. Means internal conflict is being expressed externally. And so we are going through the conflict. But now in the context, Advaita Vedanta in context of conflict, look at the topic, Advaita Vedanta in context of peace and conflict. So how Advaita Vedanta can play a role in this? So within the country also there is a conflict, between two countries there is a conflict, within the two people also can have a conflict, marital life also there can be a conflict. Within the person also there can be a conflict. A lot of people tell that Vedanta is a solution. Of course, that I'm not telling the sentence is wrong, sentence is right. But Vedanta is Solution for whom? I always tell that when you come to Vedanta, you know what is a conflict. Before coming to Vedanta, you will think, okay, I'm happy, I have money, I have family, I have this and I have that, So coming to Vedanta, person can know that these are the conflicts. Therefore, Vedanta brings out the conflict within us or in our action also. Based on the action also, there can be a conflict. Therefore, in Taittiriya Upanishad, it says, karma chikitsa vasyad. Look at this. When we have conflict with reference to action, ye tatra brahmanaha sammarshinaha. So, the different levels of conflicts are there. From the standpoint of the harmony also we are going through. Entire world is going through this. And generally when we use the word peace in Vedanta or in these lectures, the standard meaning we give is like there are Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. There are three types of the Ashanti and therefore we say Shanti. Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika. That's a standard meaning. But the conflict is there and therefore there is no Shanti. That's why Bhagavan himself says in Gita also, Nacha bhavayataha, Nacha yuktasya bhavana. Look at this. Nasti buddhira yuktasya nacha bhavayata shantihi, ashantasya kutasukha. So, conflicts are there and every level of the conflict we need to bring the Shanti. And Advaita is there. Why? Taittiriya Upanishad itself says, Udaram antaram kurute atha tasya bhayam bhavati. So, I always tell this. We have two words, Shantasya Kutassukham. Look at this one. And Udaramantaram Kurute Athatasya Bhayam Bhavati. So Shanti, Sukha, and Bhaya. Though we have three words, they are not three words. Understand? Meaning wise, they are one and the same. Because where there is a Dukkham, there cannot be Shanti, there cannot be Abhayata. Where there is a Bhaya, there cannot be Shanti or Sukham. And therefore, we need this Advaita Vedanta. Because Dvaitadhi Bhayam Bhavati. That's what Bhagavan says. Nasti buddhira yuktasya nacha yuktasya bhavana. Look at this. Nacha bhavayada shanti ashantasya kutassukham. So, the Shanti also, we look into it. There are three types of the Shanti we can say. One is a false Shanti. False Shanti means we think it is a Shanti. In our thinking, there is a Shanti. But in reality, there is no Shanti. Same way, there is a relative Shanti. Swamini used to tell, until and unless there is a relatively your mind is Shanta, then only you can understand what is a Shanta Swarupa of the Atma. And therefore, at the level of karma, when there is a conflict, we have to consult the Brahmana. Brahmana means thinking people. They can give us the solution for the karma. Which karma should I perform? But as Bhagavan says, Nasti buddhi ayuktasya. Look at this. Ayukta word is important. So ayukta means what? Yukta means together. Our personality itself, inner, there is a conflict. We are going through the inner conflict where what should I do? What should I not do? What should I eat? What time I should get up? Constant, there is a conflict within us. And that's why Bhagavan says ayukta. Ayukta means person doesn't have certain nishchaya. Buddhi is nishchayatmaka buddhi. Bhavana means what is the attitude towards everything in this world. Whether we have a healthy attitude towards the world or we have a negative attitude towards the world. So if we don't have a proper attitude, we don't have a proper nishchaya, then there cannot be Shanti. And if that externally there is no Shanti, relatively there is no Shanti, there cannot be the absolute Shanti. Another thing is, Stephen Hawking used to tell, this entire creation means what? All galaxies and everything. Nakshatra, Tara, Mandala. If you see, constant chaos is there. Understand this. Internal also there is a chaos going on. External also there is a chaos going on. But he used to tell, chaos is a part of the creation. Look at this sentence. It's a part of creation. Before any creation, if you see that it looks like a chaos. But that chaos, understand now, that chaos should not create any conflict in our mind. Externally, there is a chaos. Internally also there can be, but we should not get disturbed by that. That's called yukta. Externally, there can be anything. Internally also, body can have, mind also can have any position, any kind of the attitude. And therefore, if we want the Shashwati Shanti, absolute Shanti, or absolute Sukham, understand, Shanti and Sukham, they go together. They are not two words. And therefore, to resolve this conflict, we have to resolve the internal conflicts. The best way of resolving internal conflict, as I said, the meaning of conflict, virodha, dvandvaha. So from the standpoint of dvandva, when we say, there are 4 types of dvandva in this world, not more than that. Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha, Mana, Apamana. Bhagavan says that all these are there in 12th chapter, 2nd chapter. Sukha, Dukkha, Samay, Krutva, Labha, Labho, Jaya, Jayo. Look at Tatha, Mana, Apamana, Yoho. So dvandvas is a life. As Stephen Hawking says, the chaos is a part of the creation. Similarly, dvandva also is a part of our life. But that dvandva should not create any kind of the conflict or any kind of the disturbance in our mind. Then only the peace is possible. Yamhina vyathayantyete. Look at this. Bhagavan says same thing. This dvandva, those who are not being afflicted by this dvandva. So therefore, what is external, that is a part of the creation. But I should have such kind of the personality that any conflict outside cannot disturb me. Because all dvandvas are part of life. Shita and Ushna. Just now there was a joke. That's a very new joke. In Hindi, We say this. भगवान के घर देर है अंधेर नहीं है. So the one fellow said he was taking bath in the evening, and because of this heat, whole India is hot now, 42 temperature. So because of the heat, from the tank, the hot water was coming. So he said, today I understood what is this der nahi hai, andher nahi hai, der hai, andher nahi hai. Right? In the winter, I pray to Bhagavan that have a hot water in the tank. In the summer, I am getting this. So Shita and Ushna. In the winter, heat is preferable for us. In the summer, we want cold, AC. Understand? This is sapekshika. So, dvandva, Shita and Ushna are dvandva. But Shita only is good or Ushna is good? No. Do you understand what I'm telling? And therefore, there shouldn't be any conflict. We cannot say Shita is good or Ushna is good. No. We cannot say Man and Apman. Man is good and Apman is not. No. Look at this. How you take it. What is your bhavana? That's why Bhagavan said, Nacha bhavayatah shanti. Understand? What is your attitude towards this dvandva? Whether it's a Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha, Man, Apaman, Jaya. From the standpoint of the body, there is a Shita and Ushna. From the standpoint of mind, it is Sukha and Dukkha. From the standpoint of Buddhi, it is a Man and Apamana. From the standpoint of the object, it's called Labha and Alabha. From the standpoint of the other people, it's called Jai and Ajay. But we should not label that this is how it is, or this is good, this is better. No. This is how we have to resolve the conflict. And until and unless we resolve these external conflicts, we cannot be the adhikari, qualified for the absolute shanti. Yamhina vyatayantete, purusha purusharshava. Somrutatvaya kalpada. He becomes the kalpada, he becomes the qualified person for understanding this self-knowledge. And therefore, we have to accept that conflict is a part of life. Whether it is an entire creation, whether it is the two countries, or the people, or the family, or within us. But that conflict should not create a kind of a disturbance in us. Then only Nacha bhavayata shanti ashantasya kutasya. So we have to become. That's why in Kathopanishad, Yamaraja said very clearly, Nayamatma balahinena labhya. Balahinena means what? What is the balam? Atma balam hi balam. In Hindi and in Sanskrit we say, Megh saman jal nahi, aap saman bal nahi. And therefore, if we want to face the conflict in this world, or within our mind, we need Atma Balam. And that Atma Balam, if we have, brings the peace in our life. Do you understand? We cannot say there can be a universe without conflict. No. That's not Advaita Vedanta. Understand? Advaita Vedanta doesn't say that everything will be. That's why this Rama Rajya. Understand? No. Conflict is part of the creation. Chaos is a part of the creation. Our Purva Janma sanskaras are there. Our prarabdhas are there. And therefore, there can be conflict within also. Some people say, you remove raga dvesha. Raga dvesha create the conflicts. You remove raga dvesha, you are free from conflict. No. Let there be raga dvesha. Understand? Raga dvesha viyuktaihi. Bhagavan says what? Raga dvesha vyavasthitau tayoho vasham na agachat. This is the solution for having a peace. Let there be raga dvesha. Let there be any kind of the attitude. But I am not disturbed. Why? Raga dvesha viyuktai. Vishayan indriyaischa. We don't need to stop our indriyas. No, I'm not eating this. I'm not seeing this. No. See everything. Atma vashya. The indriyas are under your span, under your control. Atma vashya vidheya atma. Swashant prasadam adhikacchati. That prasannata will be there. Prasannata means conflict. There is no conflict in the mind. It's a cheerful mind. So that Atma Balam we have to create so that we can face all this conflict. Swamiji used to tell us, if you have a bhayam, you invite it, you welcome it. Because running away is not the solution. There is a conflict, but there is a peace also. And therefore, once we gain this relative peace in our mind, whose mind is not being perturbed by the relative Shanti we have to gain. And that's where Advaita Vedanta is important for us. Through this Vedanta only we gain this relative Shanti first. And once we gain this relative Shanti, prasannata, then we can gain the absolute Shanti or absolute happiness. So that's why Lokesmin Dvividanishta, understand this. Gnana Yogena Sankyanam, Karma Yogena Yogina. Karma Yoga is for the relative Shanti, relative Sukham. Gnana Yoga is absolute Sukham, absolute Shanti. Both are required. They are not two different, understand? A lot of people are making mistake here also. There are many ways to gain Ishvara. Gain no. Karma Yoga is a krama. It's not two, it's krama. Through Karma Yoga, and Karma Yoga is what? Very simple definition Shankaracharya gives for this Karma Yoga, understand? From the standpoint of karma, there is a Ishvara Arpan Buddhi. From the standpoint of karma phala, there is a Prasad Buddhi. Simple. You develop Ishvara Arpan Buddhi. Because everything is Ishvara. Whatever here is Ishvara, what else is there? You offer everything to Ishvara. That is a culture. That is our culture. That is a Vedic culture. Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmanava prakriti swabhava. Karomi yadyat sagalam parashme narayana yeti samar. Understand? So that Ishvara Arpan Buddhi is a Karma Yoga. Prasad Buddhi, because Ishvara is a Karma Phaladata. When we come to Vedanta, that is the first thing we recognize Ishvara as a Karma Dhyaksha, Karma Phaladata. And once you recognize Ishvara as a Karma Dhyaksha, you develop Ishvara Arpan Buddhi, you accept Ishvara as a Karma Phalad Pradata, you develop the prasad. And this Ishwararpana Buddhi and Prasad Buddhi is a karma yoga, bhakti yoga, all the same thing. Through that we gain this relative Shanti. Understand? Once we gain that, Bhagavan is in Gita also says that first you gain this relative, then you can get the absolute. Prasadamadi gacchati, prasade sarva dukkhanam hani rasyopajati. And once you have that prasannata, I always tell this, that have a cheerful mind. That is the first thing you need to have. Because there are so many things which can disturb your mind, which can irritate your mind, which can make your mind bored by that. Now there is a new theory coming up that boring means what? If you are bored, that means you are more creative person. That's why you get bored with this. Cheerful mind means what? Be happy wherever you are and whatever you are. There is no non-acceptance in your life. There is no conflict in your life. There is no virodha. There is no opposition in the life. Understand? And therefore, this karma yoga brings that relative Shanti in our mind. Conflict-free mind is there. That Shanti takes us to the absolute Shanti. So, what is that absolute Shanti? Look at this. You understand that you are Shanta Swarupa, you are Sukha Swarupa. You understand? Gain that knowledge that you are Shanta Swarupa. Kathopanishad, that's why in Kathopanishad, Yamaraja said, the person who understands that Atma, Sarva Bhutantaratma, I am Brahman is not Brahmagnana, understand. Eko vashi sarva bhutantaratma ekam rupam bahudaya karoti. And tam atmastham yevna pashyanti dhiram tesham sukham shashvatam na itaresham. Na itaresham means not by other people. Shashvatam sukham. And know that I am all pervasive consciousness. And there is no duality, Advaita. There is nothing second. There is no second, understand? When I say second, what is second? Tell me. That's what happened to Shankaracharya ji. Manisha Panchakam was there because of that only. The Chandala Shankaracharya. Annamayad, Annamayam Duri Kartum Ichchati. Look at this. Chaitanya, Chaitanyam Duri Kartum Ichchasi. Your body also Annamaya Kosha, my body also is Annamaya. You are also Chaitanyam, I am also Chaitanya. Do you have a wish to remove this Annamaya from that Annamaya or this Chaitanya from this Chaitanya? Where is the Advaita? At the end, there is Advaita. Don't think that way. Advaita, from the beginning, it is Advaita. Annamaya Kosha also, everything is Annamaya. Understand this? Everything is made up of Panchamahabhuta. This is a Vishwa, that this is a Virat. There is no difference. There is no Dvaita. Don't think that at the end there is Advaita. No. Pranamaya, when I say everything is a Pranamaya. Manomaya, everything is Manomaya. Tree also has a mind. It also understands your anger. It also understands your happiness. It understands your frustration. It has a mind, its own way. Every level there is Advaita. That's why that Manisha Pancha, there is no Advaita at all. Vishwa and Virat when say, Tejas and Prajna when we say, look at Vishwa, Virat, Tejas, Hiranya Garbha, Prajna, Ishwar, all Advaita. Sarva Bhutantara. There is only one and the same thing. Therefore, our vision should be clear. Vedanta is a vision. Vedanta is not meant to change your prarabdha. Vedanta is not meant to make your son a great scientist. Vedanta is here to change. Advaita is to change your vision. That's why here Kathopanishad says, Ye anupashyanti. Not pashyanti, anupashyanu means what? After listening to Guru, he understands this. Ye anupashyanti dhiraha tesham shashvatam sukham. Nityo nityanam chetana sachetananam eko bahunam vidati tamatmastam ye anupashyanti tesham shantihi shashvati na itaresham. All this anitya, what we say, there is a nitya atma. All that we say, jada, achetana, there is a chetana. Every jada vastu also satchidananda. Jada and chetan, when we say, that is what? Because of the presence of the sukshma sharira, this body is chetana. Because of the absence of sukshma sharira, this book is called jada. Understand? Chetana chetananam eko bahu acetananam. Everything is one conscious. Everything is what? Nitya. Tesham shashvati shanti. They gain this shashvati. That absolute shanti is possible for them. You change your vision, anupashyanti. Therefore, in understand Advaita Vedanta in context with peace and conflict, when we say conflict, we have to accept. Don't think everything will be pink and purple. No. It's life. Whole body you see, there is constant changes are going on. Cells are changing constantly. Cells are constantly dividing. So only Advaita Vedanta teaches us that we accept that conflict is a part of the life. And that gives us the cheerful mind. Through that cheerful mind, prasanna chetasayasu buddhi paryavatishta. The whose mind is cheerful mind can understand that absolute happiness, can get that absolute peace. Understand? Otherwise, it's all same. In our course, when course started, it was in the jungle. That time, it was just ashram was built, and we went there, 125 students and Swamini, and we started ashram also, and the course also started. And it's 42 kilometers from Coimbatore. So no newspaper, those days, no mobile, nothing was there. So in a way, we can say we were cut off from the world. And some of the people, though they had a habit of reading newspaper every day. Now there is no newspaper. So one day Swamini said that when I went to Rishikesh, there was no newspaper, no radio, nothing was there. I was just studying there. Then after that, Chinmayanandi said that you come here in Powai and we have this Chinmaya Sandipani Sadhana, you start the course here, Prasthantraya, and then Swamiji started there. So Swamiji said almost after 4 or 5 years, I had a newspaper in my hand. And I was very excited to see newspaper because after so many years, I am seeing this newspaper. Then Swamiji started reading. He said, I don't see anything new here. Before 5 years also, same kind of the news. This kind of the accident, this is what happened. Same news, understand? Nothing new. Swamiji said, whole newspaper was like a repetition. Still we read newspaper every day. Do you understand? Nothing changes. So we learn to accept the conflict. That's a part of life. Vedanta teaches us not to run away from conflict, but Vedanta teaches us to accept the conflict. It's a part of life. And Vedanta gives us the vision to see that even though there is a conflict, there is absolute peace also. There is an absolute happiness is there. Vihaya kama nisarvan pumam sharati nispruha. Look at this. Nirmamaha nirahankar. We don't need to change the word. We need to change our attitude. Nirmamaha nirahankar. Ahanta mamata iti sansara. There is no mamata. Why? Everything is Ishwara. There is no ahankara. Why? There is all knowledge, all power Ishwara is there. Where is my knowledge? And what is my knowledge in front of all knowledge? What is my power in front of all power? Nothing. Nirmamaha nirahankara. Shashanti madigacchati. Do you understand now? Shashanti madigacchati. It is same. But here it is changed. Nirmamaha nirahankara. Pumamsharati, understand, he is not running away from the world. He is moving around in this world. Nispruha. No spruha. No asakti. Nothing. So that's the way we can gain the absolute Shanti also. That vision of Advaita Vedanta gives us that absolute Shanti, that absolute Sukha or Abhaita. So Abhaita, Gata, Abhayo, Gatam, understand? Taitra Upanishad says, the one who has this vision that everything is one Brahman, he gains Abhaita. But if we create the Dvaita, Udaram Antaram Kurud, Ud Alam, Ud Alpam Aram Api, Antaram Kurute, Atatasya Bhayam. There is no Antam. So, from every level there is a Advaita. And once we understand that every level there is Advaita, there is no Dvaita. Everything is one Ishvara. Different level of expressions are there. Annamaya is the one expression. Pranamaya is another expression. It's all Ishvara is expressing himself in different way. In our daily life, we have a Jagrata Avastha, we have Swapna Avastha, we have Sushupti Avastha. That's expression. And therefore, conflict and peace. Conflict is a part of life. Peace is our swarup. Ye anupashyanti dhiraha tesham shashvati shanti. One who has gained this vision through the study of Vedanta, through the study of Advaita Vedanta, then there is no Ashanti. We need to learn that. But as I said, first we have to learn to accept the conflict. That acceptance takes a long time. That Ishwararpan Buddhi, that Prasad Buddhi. In Hindi, there is a bhajan, Jahi Bidhi Rakhe Ram, Tahi Bidhi Rahi. There is no Virodha. There is no Visamvadi. There is no disharmony. From the standpoint of the world, there is no disharmony. We are conformed to this world, not going against the world. So we have to develop that relative Shanti, relative cheerfulness, Sukha, through this Adhikari, Shamaha, Damaha, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhanam, Uparati. All these are what? Say, at the level of Sharira, when you say there is a Shanti or Sukham, is a Dhamma. At the level of mind, there is a Shanti or Sukham, is Shamaha. At the level of Titiksha, understand this. Whatever Dvandvas are. Tan Titiksha Swabha. That's what Bhagavan says. This Dvandva is there. You learn to go with that. And so, Advaita Vedanta teaches us two things. One is accepting the conflicts. That is a part of life, part of the universe. And second thing is, you are that absolute happiness. You are that absolute peace. Shashvati Shanti, Shashvatam Sukham is you. You understand. Externally, whatever is happening at the level of mind, at the level of buddhi, at the level of body, at the level of karma, at the level of world. But you are that Shashvati Shanti. And therefore, Advaita Vedanta is the solution for all this conflict and also to gain the absolute Shanti. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful to Advaita Academy to give me chance to share my knowledge, my thoughts. And now I'm inviting questions. If anybody has, I will be happy to try to answer your questions. Anybody? Any question, Sridhar?
Thank you, Swamini ji. Your exposition was fantastic. At empirical reality level, the conflicts are unavoidable. And at the empirical reality level itself, those are agama payin. So one has to develop the titiksha for that. That's a fantastic message of this lecture, which I will take home.
Thank you.
I'm looking for the questions, but so far, no question has arisen. Let us wait for a couple of minutes and then we'll decide. There is one question which has come up.
Mm-hmm.
Is there chaos in nature?
Yes. That's what I said. Chaos is a creation. Any level of as I said, any level of the creation, it's exactly like when you build a house. When you are building house, everything is like here, there is the bricks are here, and sands are here and cement is here. It's like a chaos. But that chaos takes you to the creation. And therefore, every level of the creation, there is a chaos. It's a nature. As I said, the cell is dividing, there is a chaos. So in nature, you can see, as I said, the galaxies, the creation of the star. Before the creation of the star, there is a huge chaos is there, different types of the gases are there. And so we accept that nature, there is a chaos. But that chaos, as our Swami Viditatmani used to tell, when somebody say, oh, Shankara, Lord Shiva, is a destroyer. So he said, no, he is not destroyer. His destruction is a creative destruction. Do you understand that? That creative destructions means what? Unless there is a destruction of the seed, there cannot be the sprout. Unless there is a destruction of the sprout, there cannot be the plant. So if you say the creation, the sustenance, and the destruction is a one point. From the standpoint of the seed, it is called destruction. From the standpoint of the sprout, it is called creation. And sthiti also is there. Understand? Because it has to sustain. Then only there can be creation. So at one point, everything is there. Shrushti, sthiti, samhara. And from our standpoint, because we have our own concept of the harmony, and therefore it's called chaos. It's exactly like everything is a plant, but when I have my garden, then there is a weeds are there. Who says this is a weed? It's a plant. But because I don't want, it's unwanted by me in my garden, therefore I call it weed. Do you understand that? It's a nature. So we ourselves develop this kind of the concept in our mind. Otherwise, everything is order. That's why Swamiji, we had a meditation by Swamiji for almost 4 or 5 months. There is an order in disorder. Do you understand? Disorder is a nature. Order also is a nature. So yes, that's how it is.
So, moment second entity comes in, there is either existing or potential chaos.
That is another thing. Perfect
one
harmony in nature. Okay.
I also heard
What is a perfect? What is a perfect? Tell me. Perfect means paripurna. Perfect is you, consciousness. Understand? All other things are relative. There is no perfection. Everything is relative in this world. Whole thing is, that's why I said Shita and Ushna. Shita is what? You like, look at this Ragadvesha. In the winter, you like heat. In the summer, you like cold. So, what is good and bad? Nothing. There is no perfection. It's a constant changing world. That's why Bhagavan says, this whole world in 15th chapter, it said this whole world is constantly changing. So that changing is the world. And therefore, there cannot be perfection. What is perfection? Tell me. There is no perfection. Perfection is you, the consciousness. Paripurna. Otherwise, it's all constant change.
So there is one more question. Someone who is on their spiritual journey, but not yet reached the level you described, that is, you have been describing. How do they deal with everyday conflict? Because unless one has that realization, just telling oneself, such things won't really find an anchor within.
That's why I said that to deal with everyday conflict, Ishwara Arpana Buddhi and Prasad Buddhi. Understand? Whatever you do, you offer it to the Lord. Why? Because when you say that you are performing action, see in 18th chapter, Bhagavan says, Panchaitani Karanani. For performing any action, there are 5 actions. There are 5 points. Understand? cause are there, hetu. Adhishthanam means this physical body. Indriyas are there, prana cheshta, understand? Karta and Daivam. Now look at this one. Karta is you, that is you, performer. Rest is not in your hand. This body, you are not running this body. You have not created this body, you are not running this body. This prana also is not run by you. Indriyas are not under your control. Daivam is Ishvara. So any action when you are performing, your part is only 20%. Because 5 karanas are there. That means what? You really perform actions? No. Because of grace of Ishvara, you are performing action. Because of grace of Ishvara, this body is perfect. Because of Ishvara, you are seeing. Because of the grace of Sun, Devata, you are seeing. Before grace of Dik Devata, you are hearing me. Understand this? So all these Devatas are performing their actions, and therefore I am performing action. And so, where is I? Where is Ahankara? Where is the Karta? And so that's why Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, we have to create that. Because of grace of Ishvara, I am performing action. And whatever comes to your life, whatever result of action you are getting, you have to develop Prasada Buddhi. That is the only way you can have Shanti.
Correct. Absolutely.
So before you gain that vision of Vedanta, that absolute peace or absolute Shanti or absolute Sukham, you develop this attitude. Then there is a Shanti. That's why Bhagavan says, Abhavayata Shanti, Ashanta. Bhavana is there, then there is a Shanti. Bhavana is Ishvara Arpan Buddhi and Prasad Buddhi, then you have a Shanti. Any more questions?
No, I think we are done with the questions.
Yes.
We are done with the time also. Swamini, I'm extremely grateful to you. I just can't get rid of the debt which you gave it to us in form of explaining how to deal with the structure at empirical level or transactional level, and how not to get affected by that. It was fantastic. I'm once again grateful to you.
So we'll do prayer, conclusion prayer.
Conclusion prayer. Oh, you will say it.
Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Hari Om. Thank you.
Viewers and listeners, tomorrow morning we have got Sarvapeksha Trikaranam by J. Srinivas. Please attend tomorrow morning also. Thank you.